Hey outlaws, and welcome back to another episode of the Sparring Test Series, okay? Not to be confused with actual sparring, because unlike one idiot in our comment section, yes, we have not sparred it. You can't just go, this is testing, we're heading in that direction. You can't go out and just whack somebody with 48-pound swords and not expect to go somewhere with lots of bars. Anyways, so we've already done no armor. We've done home light testing. You notice our yellow spot is still empty. Now, with that being said, I decided to change it a little bit different because so far, basically, if you whack somebody with it, it's or clang them, slash them, whatever, things are gonna break. So now we move to the metal heavy section. Now, how do we do our research to check to see how thick we should make it? All this armor you see before you is generally around 16 gauge. We went and I did some online research and I found an enormous amount of information regarding specific thicknesses of helmets. Specifically, helmets around this era and a little bit later that were of fine quality, and they were able to measure and they're able to figure out, hey, that most medieval armor, specifically helmets, mind you, is generally between 0.02 and then 0.10. Generally different levels of thickness that ranges from absolute garbage, like almost like 22 gauge steel, which is just don't do that. That's crap. To 16 gauge steel right here, 14 to 12. Now, for the record, I do think that you should use 12 gauge and you should use good quality steel. That's your local SEA, your HEMA, if they're doing armored HEMA, not unarmored HEMA, which seems to be more popular. Or at Buhert, always follow what their guidelines. And thicker steel is better because it will take more of the damage. But we're not talking about now, we're talking about then. That's what this test is all about. I always felt like when we did the measurements that 16 gauge was a pretty good, accurate assessment of what the thickness of that armor was going to be back then for your common knight, your common nobleman, so on and so forth. And that's what we're going to go with, and we're stuck with. And we will give it to you. You can do the research and look it all up. I could tell you that all about it, but that's not what this video is all about. And this video is already super long. All right, let's do this. Hey, outlaws. So I'm not even going to talk to you about how long it took to get Philip up here. As you can look at our platform, we have thoroughly reinforced it. I don't want any accidents. I don't want any nonsense. I don't want to be like, well, it wasn't properly stabilized. So this platform is stable as heck, like in both directions. We obviously grabbed what we had available to us, but we made sure we thoroughly reinforced this guy. Like we've got reinforcements going back. We've got reinforcements on both sides. So we've added additional planks. We really buffed up the platform that he sits on. We've learned our lessons by working with the ballistic dummies so many times, and I do recommend if you ever do tests like this, start small, work your way up, obviously because you want to get the best. But let's take a look at Philip here. That way you can see that he's still in good condition. We haven't thoroughly, like as you can see, we haven't screwed down it onto the platform yet. He's still just kind of sitting here, but there he is. He's got a little bit of sawdust on him from projects, and then he's got some saran wrap to keep him from falling apart. But you got, again, our cotton coif padding. We've got our 17 gauge mail. We're going to attach the Visby pauldrons here in just a minute, and I'll show you that. We've got our 16 gauge helmet, and then I'll show you how Philip's looking.
It's a lot brighter at this time of day.
Yeah, it's actually, we finally got out at the perfect time to actually do filming, which is nice. Okay, release the visor.
Ooh, he just wobbled.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not screwed down yet. And there he is. Still in one piece, still looking good. You can see we got his chin strap on. We have the mail going all the way up. Some of the mail is right here against his skin, but there is some padded coif in there as well. Let me move it out of the way. That way you can see it. It's right there. And I don't think this mail is going to make much of a difference. And then we have the padding on the inside of the helmet. So our boy Philip here, Philip the pain, because trust me, this project's been a pain. The time it took for prep, setup, building, and we're still not fully set up. Like I still have to go get my sword and bring it back, because I had to carry Philip here. Philip weighs about 30 pounds, a little over. So he's also very awkward and wiggly and jiggly, and I didn't want to damage him, so I made sure to carry him myself. Because believe it or not, I walk a fair distance to go train every time I do this. So we've got 4 layers of protection on Philip here. We've got the 16 gauge helmet, mild steel, again. Padding on the inside, cotton. We've got the butted, oh no, sorry, not the butted. we've got the wedge riveted chainmail, 17 gauge, mild steel, and then we have the cotton padding underneath. And then, of course, we got Phil's squishy ballistic gel. Now, I'm not really looking so much at what damage is going to happen to the ballistic gel. I'm more interested in what's going to happen to the skeletal structure underneath. And that's why when I did this test, and I said that I'm testing it as if it was a lowborn noble, lowborn knight, mercenary, foot soldier, swordsman. Like, again, I stand by what I said. If a sword, like, if we're going to go do the whole medieval thing, which is this is kind of like testing that out, you're not going to send your top tier guys to go fight the giant swordsman guy. You're going to overwhelm him in numbers. So, and even then, like, honestly, I believe that the skeletal structure is going to fail way before this armor does. Simply because it's going to get hit, and it's just the force of impact is just going to kill this person. Kind of like just cling. But anyways, so even if it was, let's say, spring steel, I believe the helmet would hold together better than it's going to. But I don't believe for a second it would properly protect the neck, the joints, or any of the bones underneath. It's just too much force. But hey, I'm just talking out loud right now. We haven't tested it out. So let's get to that point. Let's get Philip strapped down. We need to give him his spalders, his Visby spalders. That way we can have protectors for shoulders. And we're going to do some testing. Now, one thing I do want to point out one more time. Sorry, I'm talking a long time for this one. Is look at my height. I'm about 5'11". Philip here is pretty high. He's pretty tall. So I am not going to be able to use the force of gravity for pretty much most of my swings. It's going to be all human power. There will be no gravity strikes today. There might be some close to it, but it's not going to get the full effect. So it's not like when I did the bucket test, the water jug test, the watermelon test. This guy's up pretty high. So by the time the blade hits him, some gravity will be in effect, but not as much as it normally is. So we're gonna really make things happen to the Outlaws. Let's do this. Here you go, Philip. Now, what I did was I screwed the back of the padded coif into the wooden base. That way, it's like it's supporting his head a little bit better rather than just a ballistic gel alone being relied upon to support it. Because I just want to make sure this test is as thorough as possible. So, as if he had, like a bit stronger neck muscle, so to speak. That way, his head stays up. It's not like flopping completely out of control over the place. Because a lot of people that wear like fighting armor, like Buhurt, SEA, or Live Steel Armored Combat League. I'm not tying those two together, just Live Steel Armored Combat League, two separate. Although I think the ACL is gone now. Basically, they usually have like a bit stronger necks, whatnot. So although I think that Ballistic Dummy Labs is very accurate, I just want to add a little bit more strength to it, just in case, because I don't want it just to be like a one-hit kill thing. Although it probably will be. So there we go. We've got two screws in the back. We're gonna plop the chainmail down and let's test it out a little bit. So give him a bit of a push. Okay. Okay. I think he's good. Now you can see he's got his Visby pauldrons on. Now I want to point out that the gel shoulder is a bit narrow than I would have hoped for. I was hoping for a little bit wider, but it is what it is. So there is, if you come this way, there is some gel underneath there with some bones. You got your clavicle right here. You got your scapula in the back. So we'll take a whack. But I do want to point out that he also does have some wood. Granted, it's cheap wood underneath. So it is slightly supported by that on both sides. You go on this side too, a little less so right here. What I tried to do when I tied the fake leather, and boy do I mean fake, I try to tuck it underneath and off of the side. That way, if it does cut, it doesn't automatically just cut it and then we're like left without anything. And yes, I forgot to bring my knife. And in the back, just one little bit more support to try to keep the helmet on as much as possible. I went ahead and tied it with this cute little ribbon because it is Christmas today. Merry Christmas, everyone. Or if you're watching this later, Happy New Year 2024. So I think our boy is ready to go. This is about as prepared and protected as a ballistic skull pretty much almost has ever been, probably with weapon tests. Maybe there's been other ones out there that have been more armor. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But he's pretty darn protected. So I think it's going to be a great test. Let's do this.
So what are we doing today, Davey?
All right, so what we're going to do is combo strikes against this target right here. So again, to illustrate the point, I'm about 5'11", so that's 6'5". So any type of overhead strikes are going to have less of an effect because it has less time to travel down and hit them. We also want to point out that this clap visor bassinet has lots of angled spots on it, including right here in the shoulders. So this dummy is well protected. It has 4 layers of protection around the skull. It's got the 16 gauge clap visor bassinet. It's got cotton padding, pretty thick too underneath that. And it's kind of like a floating harness on top. So it prevents strikes directly from above automatically hitting the head, which is an extra layer, technically almost 5, but we'll stay at 4. And then under that, we have this 17 gauge wedge riveted male, which we've shown you 1,000 times. And then underneath that, we have the cotton coif that you see right here, and it's pretty thick. And then, of course, we have the ballistic gel itself and then the skull. So, enough talking. Let's get this done. Here we go. I'm going to wear this to protect my eyes. Hopefully, everything else will be okay. We're going to start off with the uppercut. We're going to swing around. We're going to combo move. Let me know when we're ready.
Are we going to strike him yet?
Yep, we're going to hit him.
Okay.
We ready?
Ready.
Time for craziness. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, two, one, go. Well, okay. Oh my God. So to conclude our test for today, it is truly not safe to duel with giant swords, even with armor on. You like, just look at this. Holy hell. Come on, go ahead and step on the platform, Jenny. So it literally
Hold on. There you go.
just destroyed everything about him. It snapped his neck. It snapped off his, like, look, so you can see neck's torn off, front where the clavicles were attached just snapped, broke pieces of it off, broke pieces of the scapula back here, just absolutely murdered him. Let's see what the helmet looks like. Look at that. Woo!
Wow. That's a nice clunk in the side.
That is a solid clunk. So
there's a cut in there too.
there is indeed a cut. Can definitely confirm that would be a death. That would be a death strike, even with your helmet on. So the fun thing again, and what I've always have stated, is that yes, this is mild steel, so it's going to take more of the impact. It's going to bend, but the point of failure is the human body. It's just not designed to take 48 pounds of really anything swinging at it and concussing upon itself or upon impact. So what we're going to do is we have to adjust. So unfortunately, Outlaws and everyone else, if I keep swinging like that, it's just the same thing's going to happen. It's going to knock it. It's going to flop over. We already broke the spine. You saw we shattered this entire upper area of the torso, shoulders. It's done. So what we are going to do, like, I didn't even get a chance to like hold it up, get ready to swing it back down, but I'm not really surprised, to be honest with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the clap visor. We're going to take a look, see what Robert looks like on the inside. Even though we've already seen his separated spine.
Okay.
So his face is okay. It's a little beat up right here. The ribbon. So the ribbon was originally there. This ribbon was originally in the back of the helmet. Good Lord. So the chin strap did bite into his chin quite a bit. You can see it right here. Hey, can you see it? See that right there? I can't tell if his skull is actually, as you can see, hold on. No, there does appear to be some damage. Okay, so the place where the chainmail was on his skin did bite into the flesh. Now, that's not like a, oh, see, that's just like, hey, the chainmail was there. If you don't have padding, look, if you don't have padding underneath your chainmail, you're an idiot, okay? Like you see in the movies where like the guy just has it. That's just so you can see who the main character is, because Hollywood directors and actors and actresses have a huge freaking ego and they want to make sure they can see their face. But anyways, so that doesn't really mean anything, but I'm kind of curious what I can get away with. So I would have to remove this entire thing from his head, but I'm going to go ahead and conclude that he's dead. Bang! And now I get to take his helmet as a war trophy and use it. But let's get back to him. So what we're going to do is I will find some screws and I will screw down the top of this padded coif just like I did in the back and see if that can't help keep him held down. And we'll give him a couple more whacks. We're not going to stop there. Now, what I do want to do is I want to hit the shoulders right here. That way you guys can see it. I don't want to cheat you guys out. And see what that does. I wonder if we hit the front of the face. Like a side hit. Like, so I wonder, like, I'm pretty sure if we go like this, it's just going to, like, cave in. We could. But let's take a look at the blade. Oh. There it is. Point of impact. Go towards the end. There it is, right there. So it did dent up the blade a little bit. You can see my very bad sharpening skills. So let me show you. I'll do pommel to the ground. So it looks like the point of impact. Or maybe it wasn't. Where the hell did I hit it?
I mean, I didn't see anything that looked crazy. I mean, it all looks pretty good.
That was from before. That was from the printer's super hard and still. Wow. Okay. I don't know. I think it hit right here. Yeah, hit right about there. That's gnarly. Okay, let's see if we can make Philip bleed. Our zombie Philip is come back from the dead, and we're gonna do another test with him. So what I'm doing right now is I'm screwing down both the front of the coif and the mail in the hopes that I can at least get 1-2 more swings into this helmet. That way you can actually get more out of this, and I can get more out of this. One thing is interesting though, is that despite his neck and everything breaking and all of his clavicles separating, everything just basically just death. I don't think, at least I can't prove it yet, I don't think he has any internal damage, but I can't prove that. Because by the time I pop this guy off and get him back on, it's going to be one hell of a task. We're going to do that later. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1, go. Nice. Ugh. We'll come show it first.
Got it on the phone.
Nice. So that was me just kind of picking it up and then just kind of using my strength to fling it forward. Thankfully, it looks like everything held up. Well, darn it, no, the chainmail came off, but we'll go ahead and squeeze it back on there somehow.
You can see where the cut is.
Yeah, you can see where the cut is. The coif's held on. You can see where the cut is right across. I don't think that did any damage to him. So let's whack him again. Ready? Okay. Ready? Okay. Whew. I saw him not be able to see. I was like, fuck me. So,
You didn't even hit it.
no, I cut it.
Oh, you cut the string.
Cut the string, yeah. So, I tried hitting him several times like you would. You're like using a regular sword. Wasn't really using any of my Colossus move. Oh, he's done.
Is he bleeding?
No. But if you come here, it's just everything's all over the place. Kind of falling apart. Look at the visor. The visor's starting to come loose. Like this dude,
He looks floppy.
Robert's not having a good day.
No, his name's Philip.
Sorry, Philip. Philip the pain. Like, look, it's not even supported anymore.
I think his neck is thoroughly broken.
Yeah, he's pretty dead. They all held up pretty good. Nice. Not bad. Good job, Melly. You did your job. You protected against skull. Here. You can see where it's slightly bent right here. Stupid freaking saran wrap. Right there. You can see where it's slightly bent. So it did its job pretty nicely.
I don't see it.
Ah, right here. I'm pointing. Look at it. Look.
Oh.
Okay. Let's go on the other side.
He's a lot higher up than the other dog.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to...
Honestly, Outlaws, the male did its job. There are some small scrapes here and there, but overall, it's really not that bad. All right. Let's just practice a bunch of Colossus techniques on this. I can't get this guy's head back on. He's done. I think I've proven my point. I mean, feel free to disagree with me, but look, he got hit so bad, I bent the front of his visor. See that? This used to be more looped down. That's how bad he got hit. Okay.
His visor's really bad.
I even hit him right here.
Yep.
Right there. See, it took a chunk out of the thickest part. So, if there's any question, this is definitely not a 16 gauge muzzle. That's super thick. And it cut right through it. And still jacked up the visor. So let's open up. Let's see if we can spot any bleeding. Not bad. So as far as we can tell, male is all over the place.
Yeah, his helmet was just sloshing around on his head, it looks like.
Yeah. So as far as I can tell, the head is still pretty good to go. At least the skull itself. I mean, this is just the chin strap biting in, but if you're getting hit with that much force, chin strap, like especially this kind, is definitely not going to be good for you. But his neck is not what it used to be.
No, it's not sporting.
All right, so we're going to do Colossus techniques until either this helmet falls off or I get tired. So I was kind of well on messing around before. Now we're going to get serious. Taking a look at the blade, I think I did a pretty good job. There's a couple places where it's a little beat up, but really it's doing fantastic. Like, it's not the most beautiful sharpening skill in the world, but my work that I did while sharpening it myself, I think paid off. I was farting around with it the last time just to say, hey, what if I just kind of trying to keep going a different way, but I didn't like the feel of it. So we're just going to go complete Colossus movements only. That's all we're going to do. Let's go. Start off with the left side. With the left hand some help. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah.
Hey, Philip. You look wobbly, Philip.
Well, you've seen better days, homie. You have definitely seen better days. I like how the damn spalders keep getting cut off.
We're just falling. I don't even know.
So this time I did it. I hit it.
Oh, yes.
This one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it did deflect a little bit. I mean, woo, that one went deep. A lot of these went deep. I'm gonna go back there. Gonna run. Then I'm gonna give good old Philip one last send off. You want to see that? Yeah! Yeah! Ah! That hurt him.
Oh, man.
His visor is very jacked up now. Look at that. Wow, look at that.
Still has beautiful.
The front of his face is still good to go. Not bad. All right, let's take this off. Not bad.
How it hold up inside.
I mean, it's dented all over the place on the inside, but you know, you got really good padding. Okay, so right now I'm taking off all the screws. That way the coif can come off. And my chainmail. So here is a broken, cut in half piece of mail. So it did cut. So the giant sword did have the capabilities to cut it. right in half. So it is capable, like I said, of dealing one hit kills. And even with all the fancy armor on, your joints just can't hold up. I mean, I'll be honest, the armor more or less did its job.
It's like you would need to be wearing an exoskeleton in order to really withstand the
So,
blow.
yeah, you're going to have to wear something that has a good, solid, rigid structure all the way throughout. So here's this. Here's a part where you can see, put my hand on there, where the,
oh yeah, look at that.
Where the Colossus form did indeed break through
where was
mail.
That? What part was
it was
that?
right here.
Oh, okay.
So it did break through and destroy quite a bit of mail. Now, again, this isn't the top of the line, but you can see parts where the blade just sheared right through it. And we have the evidence right, I'm gonna put it in my hand, right here in my hand. Here's the face, and then here's the hole right here. See, it's scraped and cut, but nothing as big as that I can see right now. Not bad. I mean, not bad. The coif did pretty damn good. You can see where I screwed it all down. So when I do, I'm going to recreate this test later on down the road. I personally am not satisfied with the results nor my performance. That's fine. It was, honestly, it's the first time I ever did this. So learned quite a few things. Got some date knowledge banks in there. And then I'll add it to my training routine. But I still think I proved my point. That sword's pretty damn dangerous. That running attack, that needs work. But it did. So it'll do quite a bit of damage. So not too bad. All right, here we go. Trying to save these because I don't really like wasting stuff. Even though I totally just obliterated this helmet. Now, this helmet's going to be retired. No more testing. I think this is stripped. Here we go, moment of truth. Woo!
I mean, I can see his clavicle is like jutting out through his chest. Oh man, his neck is like severed. Decapitated.
Yeah, he's dead. All right, how about the skull itself?
Well, take the plastic off.
Oh yeah, saran wrap, sorry.
There's that saran wrap. That saran wrap protected him. Oh man, you can see where his
chainmail.
His chin's all bit into.
Yeah.
Or not his chin, his forehead.
That was from chainmail though, so padding. Padding, boys and girls, wear padding. So the chainmail did get in there and it did scrape him up pretty bad. There is quite a few damage. Bit right through. His chin's obviously split from the chin strap, but more or less the damage was done to his neck. His neck snapped off way before we could even get started. Just completely obliterated. Broken all the way through. Just, he was done. So this was completely torn through. This was broken off. And unfortunately, see that? It also is broken. You can see it wiggling on the inside, the mold. So the mail and padding, and obviously it being broken.
Protect his cranium.
Yeah, the skull is completely still more or less together. In fact, I might be able to use it for testing. There's parts around where the chainmail was where it started to dig in and that was doing damage, but that's to be expected because it didn't have padding on it. That's something we're going to have to spend more time on. Here, yeah, that's also, it's no longer attached. Oops, there's a piece of bone right there. The scapula's torn clean off. Yeah, he was done. Unfortunately, the first hit just really it destroyed the entire platform. I mean, you saw it tore it right off. Bummer. Okay, well, is it safe to spar with a giant sword? The answer is no. Now, I will say, whacking over and over and over and over again, I do have some work to do with follow-ups and combos. I'll admit that. Obviously, the footage speaks for itself. But that's okay, because that just means I have more to work on and more to improve and more content to make. All right, Outlaws, I'm going to call this test done. I think Philip here showed that, you know, one whack to the head and you're donezo. Cool. We'll see you next time.